Walk into almost any modern office today, and you will find an environment hostile to human concentration. We spend our days answering a constant barrage of instant messages, sitting in open-plan spaces, and treating a fast email reply as a primary indicator of value. We are filling the majority of our working hours with shallow work, logistical, non-cognitively demanding tasks that require almost no specialized expertise to complete. As intelligent machines and a globalized talent pool wipe out average, easily replicatable roles, the economy is undergoing what researchers call the Great Restructuring. To thrive in this landscape, you need two distinct abilities: the capacity to quickly master complex things and the ability to produce results at an elite level. This creates a contradiction. While the economy requires elite cognitive output to generate value, daily office life forces us into intervals of shallow distraction. To understand why a distracted brain cannot produce elite work, we have to look closely at the physical hardware inside your head. This visualization shows a single neural pathway. As you focus intensely on a hard skill, you force a specific circuit to fire repeatedly in isolation. This triggers cells to wrap that circuit in myelin, a fatty tissue that insulates the connection. Skill is quite literally built by myelination. But when you work while checking your inbox or glancing at notifications, you fire dozens of different circuits simultaneously. You fail to isolate the target neurons, and the myelin process simply stops. The damage extends into your psychological performance. Business professor Sophie Leroy identified a cognitive tax she calls attention residue. When you pivot away from a complex report to read a quick Slack message, your brain doesn't instantly transition. A residue of your attention remains stuck on the message you just read, dragging down your cognitive capacity when you look back to your primary task. Due to these biological and cognitive limits, it is physically impossible to produce your highest quality work while maintaining constant digital connectivity. If biology proves that distraction destroys high-level performance, why do major technology companies design their workspaces exactly this way? The answer lies in the metric black hole. In a factory, it is easy to measure output, but in knowledge work, it is difficult to calculate the exact bottom-line financial cost of an employee stopping their workflow to check an email. Without clear metrics to show the financial damage of these interruptions, organizations default to the principle of least resistance. It is easier to ping a coworker for a fast answer than it is to build a rigorous project management system. It is easier to demand an instant reply than it is to carefully plan out a week of deep work. This ambiguity breeds anxiety for the individual. Lacking clear indicators of value, employees need a way to prove they are earning their paychecks, so they default to using busyness as a proxy for productivity. Sending emails at all hours and replying instantly to messages creates a highly visible performance of work. It signals presence and effort, even if no real value is being produced. The distracted workplace functions as a lazy coping mechanism for the ambiguity of knowledge work, rather than a strategy optimized for production. This landscape of systemic distraction creates an opening for the individual. Because the majority of the workforce is trapped in shallow, performative busyness, the capacity to actually sit down and concentrate deeply is becoming increasingly rare. This graph illustrates your leverage. As the supply of focused workers drops, the market value for their complex output scales upward. In a globalized economy, rarity is met with disproportionate financial reward. By opting out of your company's distraction culture and prioritizing your own focus, you are making a lucrative career decision. Deep focus also yields a psychological payoff, creating a state of mind similar to a master craftsman shaping a blade by hand. Science writer Winifred Gallagher found that our subjective experience of life is not dictated by our external circumstances. It is constructed entirely by what we choose to pay attention to. When you fully engage your brain in a deep, demanding cognitive task, you train your prefrontal cortex to inhibit your emotion centers. You physically block out negative stimuli and the ambient stress of the modern world. In 1922, the psychiatrist Carl Jung realized his field required a level of thought he could not achieve in the city. He built a stone tower in the woods of Switzerland, isolating himself to cultivate the depth necessary to rethink psychology. To build a meaningful life in this economy, construct your own version of Jung's tower. Disconnect from the noise and go deep.